an air down tool. You see a lot where, you know, this is actually to help to deflate by using your valve stem. So I want to go over it. Make sure, even if this is a brand new tool, make sure that all the pieces are functioning correctly before you throw it in your Jeep. That's something we ran into this weekend. This piece that slides out needs to be able to slide freely. So if you're noticing this piece does not want to slide freely and it's locked or it's stuck, make sure that you go ahead. You're gonna have to put some lubricant on this and make sure it's gonna slide easily. Otherwise, it's not gonna work correctly when you get out there on the trail. And you need to use this air down tool. You know, when you're at home, just take a minute anytime you get something new and just make sure that it works. Just because it's brand new doesn't mean it's going to function correctly, and that can be the most frustrating part for us. You know, when we get out there is when tools aren't working correctly, then we seem to get a little more frustrated. So what we're going to do is we're going to start by taking our valve cap off and putting it somewhere where it'll be easy so you don't lose it. Now as we go to place this on, this big piece is going to be pushed forward. So that's what I hold on to push against, and we're going to twist this big piece to the right to twist it onto the tire. So that's where we're going to start. So I'm going to hold, push that forward so that it's lined up with the threads. Then I'm going to twist this center piece to the right. So just this center piece is all I'm worrying about right now. Twisting it to the right till it's tight and it won't twist anymore. Then you're going to take this long piece that comes in and out. You're going to twist that piece to the left until it starts to come out. And like I can already hear some air coming out of my tire. We're going to let that piece come out, and I need to watch my gauge. So now this piece is out, it's hooked, and this big piece now, I'm going to pull back to let air out, push forward to stop. So again, push back and then forward. So we're pulling back to let air out, push forward to stop the air, and then we're going to watch our gauge to see where our PSI goes for when we want to stop deflating. Then when we're finished and we've got the desired PSI that we want, we're going to take the long piece. So we're doing everything backwards. We're going to push it in. And now we're going to twist it to the right until it stops. I can no longer twist anymore to the right. I don't hear any air coming out. Now all I'm going to do is take the center piece and twist to the left. So all I'm worried about is the center piece, but we want this front piece to remain pushed forward. So I like to use that as my grip, so that way I know it's pushed forward. Then I can just go to this center ring and untwist to the left until my tool is off. And then I'm going to replace my valve cap. So you might need to watch this video a couple times, and then you definitely need to go out if you have this tool and just practice and take your time. Alright, so I have our next tool here. There's a lot of different makers. I went ahead and went with the Boulder Tools. It's a Pro Tire Deflator kit. So what this is it's actually going to be a set of 4 plugs that you're going to go ahead and use. So you don't have to use the tool on every individual tire. And basically you're going to set them, and then when you get to where you're going, you need to air down, you're going to screw them onto your tire and wait for the air to stop, and then you'll unscrew them. So that basically you're able to just kind of set them and then walk away. You know, a little bit easier. We take the time to set it up once, and then it's ready for us at the event. So I'm going to go ahead and just set mine right around 17 to 20. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this gauge to check the tire pressure on. I'm using my spare tire to go ahead and set these. That way they recommend 1 tire. If you have a spare, especially one that's mounted, I would recommend using that to go ahead and set all of your inserts. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to check the air pressure on this tire. And so it is right at 25. Go ahead and let just a little bit out. So this tool that it came with, if I hit the side, is going to let some air out. So this is also an air down tool. It's not as quick as the air down tool that I showed you previously, but this will work as you're using this to set your initial PSI. So I'm just gonna hook it, push, and just let a little tire pressure out until I get down to 20. And then I'm gonna go ahead once I hit 20, and I'm gonna stop because that's where I wanna go ahead and set these initially for right now. And this is the actual little, it's called a Pro Tire Deflator. And what this does is it's going to screw on to your valve stem. So this is, I'm gonna go ahead and adjust this for the first time. So we're gonna see if I can go ahead and get this set. We're going to do it together. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and screw this end on, but I have to tighten both of these by turning them clockwise. And then I will go ahead and put it on the tire. So we're just going to go ahead and screw this on until it's tight. We don't want to over tighten it. We don't want to ruin the threads, just so that it's snug and that it's tight. So then I'm going to take this very end big piece. We're going to have to zoom in just a little bit. Alright, so we're going to take this big thick end piece. There's a big one and a little one. We're just going to turn it counterclockwise slowly until we hear air start to come out. I'm starting to hear some air come out. So I'm going to go clockwise till the air stops coming out. And then I'm going to tighten the smaller ring counterclockwise till it is back up against the big ring. So now it is all set. So I can go ahead and unscrew it. So now all I should have to do when I want to air down a different tire is all I should have to do is come up, place this on, and it should deflate until it hits this PSI. So this way this is now set. Now I have to take the time to go ahead and set the other three up so they're ready for the other tires as well. Now I'm going to test my tool and make sure that I can screw this on and walk away and it will deflate properly, so I know I have set it correct. Once it's done deflating, you need to go ahead and check the air pressure to make sure that it deflated to the correct amount. So it did at 20 psi.